This right here is a family of 7. They're chowing down, eating some good food at an Orlando, Florida restaurant. I want you to watch what happens. Several of them, they start to get up and leave. Okay, no big deal right now, right? Yep, they're starting to leave. Getaway vehicle pulls up. Now we got this woman who's sitting there. Maybe she's going to pay, right? Wrong. Watch. And watch her start to pick up her step right here. Unbelievable. Y'all, if there's one thing I cannot stand, it is a thief. If you can't afford to go out to eat to a restaurant or you don't want to pay, then just don't go. It's that simple. So a family of 7 had a huge expensive feast before they decided to just up and leave the restaurant without paying a thing. No tip, no bill, nothing. This was in Orlando, Florida. The family, as you saw, was caught on surveillance footage at the restaurant consuming meals that totaled about $300. And that was before leaving the restaurant. Called that again was without paying for their food. This took place yesterday on Sunday, July 19th.
What are you hoping happens here? What are you What are you looking to have happen? Is it jail time, a fine? Do you just want them to pay?
For me, it's no longer about if they wanted to pay the bill. Initially, when I made that first call to them, they could have called back and said, yes, you know what? I messed up. I will pay this bill. And the video would have never even been posted. But at this point, for me, it's deeper than just paying the bill. It's the principle of the matter. And what I don't like about it is that they did this with kids. So yes, I do. I'm pressing charges and I want them to learn their lesson because this is not okay.
And I just really, personally, it's a lesson learned. Like, you need to realize that everything catches up with you. You know, you're living your life like this, but you shouldn't be doing it with the kids. That's number one. Number two, at some point, it's going to stop. So I'm hoping that these 2 people realize, you know, hey, this isn't the way we want to live and make a change. That's all. Honestly, if one person changes out of this, I'm happy.
Members of the crew surreptitiously walk out. Little did they know it was all on video. So you see there the man wearing the white tank top. He gets up first, leading the way, handing another woman car keys. Then the rest, Dine-and-Dashers, they get up and walk out of the door. Even, you see, they're very small children. But now, in this video, only one woman remains at the end of the table. So she takes the receipt like she's going to go up to pay, but she walks to one entrance to seemingly create a diversion, and then she beelines for the same exit they all just used, and they're all gone. The restaurant posting this on social media saying, yes, it happened again. This needs to stop. A $300 check at that. He sent the first one out with the keys to pull up the car. Then when he saw the car was out front, they all got up and left, except for one of them stayed behind, acting like she was going to pay the check. And she got up and left. This is not fair, the restaurant says. So really, that post indicates this has happened before at this very same restaurant. They hope, though, to identify and catch the thieves by posting this now viral video. And some Instagram users in the comments, a lot of them really, they suggested more restaurants there should take your card first before you get your food to avoid situations like this. I don't know if that idea will stick. Edie, Krisha.
Very interesting. Yeah. Thank you, Andrew. Yeah, you get an idea like that and put it out to the people, and it's you get some good ones that come back. So David Gelman is a former prosecutor, a criminal defense attorney. That's when he's not dining and dashing. And Raphael Manuel is a senior fellow at Manhattan Institute, an attorney and author of the book Criminal Injustice. Right. Let me start with you, David, because you look like you're a guy who goes out to eat a lot. Have you ever seen something like this happen?
I've seen about it. I've heard about it. Like we own a couple restaurants, my family, and so every now and then you do hear about this. And look, this guy, he was wearing a tank top in a pretty decent restaurant. I mean, so first thing that kind of should put you off. This is wrong because
how would your family handle it in their restaurants?
Well, we're in New Jersey, so obviously they probably like, oh, you're allowed to do this in New Jersey, but this is in Florida, so it's obviously a lot different, right? But look, number one. It's very difficult to ask for a card before you get the check. So that's kind of hard to do. But you're going to have security. I mean, I don't know what else to say about that. You're going to have to be vigilant when it comes to this type of stuff. And the problem is, in restaurants, the margins are very low. Right. People think that you're making a ton of money on this. No, the margins for food costs are extremely low. So this restaurant, $300 bill, it hurts them. It's
and
really
no
bad.
tip.
Yeah, and they casually sequentially got up. To Andrew's point, very brazen, the way in which they sequentially got up. I would be scared to do that, but clearly they weren't.
Well, that tells you that there's a level of comfort here with this kind of antisocial behavior. And I think that comes from probably two things. One is that they've done this before, right? So this is from experience. Very rarely do you see this level of comfort and brazenness with someone who's, a first timer. But two is that they're probably getting a message from the broader community that this sort of stuff isn't going to be enforced, right? Orlando did have a very progressive prosecutor for a time who was not prosecuting so-called low-level offenses. And what that does is that it sends this message of encouragement that anything under a certain amount is okay to steal and that it's not that big a deal. But if you watch this video, what you see are very large people. These are the least sympathetic possible crowds, right? I mean, they weren't going hungry. That guy in the tank top was close to 300 pounds. But also, you have to ask yourself, what are they teaching the kids at this table?
That's right.
I mean, I see these small children who are now going to be the next generation. You hope that they break that cycle, but it's not clear that they will.
Now, that's probably, I think, the most important takeaway of this all is that you are taking a younger generation and you are instilling in them habits that are completely immoral.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real life on video demonstration of the intergenerational transmission of antisocial behavior.
Yeah.
Stealing is okay. That's the message they were sending, and also the restaurants suffering as a result. It's incredibly not right and unfair.
Hey everyone, so I'm back with another update. Adelia called us back. She came to her senses. She's being extremely apologetic, her and Keith. So what we're going to do is they're going to come on Friday on a Zoom call, and they're going to do a public apology to everybody, to us, the server, and everybody on social media who feels offended by this and feels a certain way. So we appreciate that. We're going to go ahead and accept that from them, and they're paying their check right now over the phone. So just giving everyone an update. Stay tuned. Friday, we're going live.
If they show up. Hey, listen, I think that all of the adult faces should be put on blast. Their faces should be seen. Now, the very video made them want to come back and get things right, but it should never have been done at first. And just getting it right now should not be sufficient. They should be shamed. Their faces should be seen. People should be able to see that, because you don't just do this kind of thing and get away with it. I think that the restaurant owner was very, very charitable. He was much nicer than he had to be, giving them a chance to get this right. And I think that's a Christian thing to do. But things like that, people need to suffer full brunt of their consequences, because sometimes they don't learn. I think that video, having that video and showing that video brought them to their senses, because they didn't want to have that over their head and people recognizing them for that. But the fact that they thought they can get away with that is sad. It's disgusting.
What's really sad, Minister Danzel, is that there were children there as well that witnessed this, that now, have this thought that this type of behavior is okay. My personal opinion is I think the restaurant owner should press charges. And if they refuse to press charges, I'd like to see the state get involved and say, nah, we're pressing charges because we're stopping this now. Yes. We do not want to set a precedence to where, because what people don't understand is that when you do this, this causes everybody else's prices to go up. This this inconvenience everybody else. Now, if you have a party of, say 5 or more, hey, we're going to need you to put $100. You're going to need to put $100 deposit down or something like that. We're going to need to put a credit card or something like that on file before we serve you. This is going to inconvenience everybody.
Thank you.
So I'd like to see, hey, if he's refusing to press charges, I'd like to see the state say, nah, we're pressing charges. We don't want the children to think that this is a good idea.
Amen.
We don't want that. And again, if you can't afford to eat out, meaning you can't afford to pay your tab and leave a good tip, you don't need to be eating out.
Thank you.
You don't need to be doing this. What people don't understand is that when you do this, typically, the server is responsible for paying that bill. That's right. Typically, when this happens, if somebody runs out, the server's responsible for that tab.
Wow.
I don't think people know this. And in the restaurant industries, the margins are thin. They don't make a lot of money.
No.
They don't make a lot of money. The margins are very, very thin. So now you're affecting small businesses.
Yes.
Yep. Which also means that, okay, this business closes down. How many people are going to lose their jobs? The people in that community probably lose a good restaurant because it was full. So obviously there's something positive going on in that restaurant because it was jam-packed in there. So an example needs to be made. I'm okay with him allowing them to come up there and apologize. I think that's something that needs to happen. They need to be shamed. Their faces need to be seen.
Yeah.
This may be a situation to where some employers need to look and say, hey, man, I don't want to employ people that are willing to do things like this. Because if you're willing to steal from them, what are you doing to me?
That's right.
I think we need to go a step further than just bringing back shame.
Me
Seriously. I think we need to take it a step further.
Shame works. Obviously, shame works. You see, they were shamed all over television, national news, and somebody said something, and then they came forward and said, "Our bad." You know,
ain't that Pee Wee and his family? Take it, they recognize
it. Bebe's kids in it. Obviously, they need to make it right. These people were also repeat offenders. People have come forward that own restaurants in the area and have said they stuck me with a bill also. It's like 2 other people have called and said they know him. So this is another thing. The reason why a bottle of shampoo costs $9 right now at Target is because of the fact that people steal it. When you pilfer the product, it makes it more expensive for everybody else. The profit margins at a restaurant is so small, like you said. My father told me a long time ago when we first opened our restaurant up in 1975. He said the secret to making $100,000 a year in the restaurant business is you start with $200,000. It's not a you're not going to make money hand over fist in the restaurant business. Catering, yes. The alcohol, yes. But the alcohol brings up a very good point. If you walk into any bar and order a drink, they're going to ask you want to start a tab? Give me your credit card number, because a typical bill could be $25, $35, $45 for a couple of drinks, right? A $300 bill for a restaurant, it's going to come to the point where eventually you're going to have to hand over your credit card in order to, well, what if I'm going to pay cash? Well, if you go to a hotel, they ask you for a credit card. You can even have already prepaid for your hotel room. They ask for a credit card for essentials if you decide to make stuff like that. So, and the poor server, I mean, come on. The poor $300 bill, she's probably a college student trying to make some money, and $300 bill, so that's a $100 tip. Yeah. 25%.
Yeah. And
then not only does she get shafted out of that, but they'll probably make her pay the $300 bill, or maybe he won't. I don't know. He's a nice guy. We'll see. But these are the kind of things that they perpetuate. They perpetuate. If you want to stop this foolishness, these restaurant owners are going to have to start taking a credit card, and that makes it harder for everybody else. And no, it's not just black people that stick people on checks. No, they get the coverage because it makes videos popular and stuff like that. There's a whole faction of YouTube right now of people just calling out the fatigue like it's something. This is something that all comes back to the fact that shame works, people. They had to be shamed to come back and make this right.
There was a young lady, she was going to restaurants, high-end restaurants, and she would pay. But when she would get home, she would call and dispute the credit card charge. She went to the same restaurant, did it 4 times. And and we're not talking about, she's ordering lobster and shrimp, all these types of like real high-end meals. And then she would go in and dispute the call. She would dispute the charge and say it wasn't her.
Wow.
And they said she did it 4 times, same restaurant. You got to be bold to do that, man.
I mean, if y'all really want to shame her, I have her picture now. As I was sitting here, I went through and learned all about her and her husband. Would y'all like to learn about her? I'll go ahead and allege everything. One of the things that we found. So, the internet is infamous. First of all, the internet always understands assignment. First of all, she doesn't live in Orlando. She lives in Flint, Michigan. They were vacationing in Orlando. Apparently, allegedly, for internet purposes, Adelia and her partner or husband, Keith, were out there doing this. Adelia reportedly is a nurse's assistant at a hospital in Flint. She also operates a licensed home daycare, child care home thing in Flint, allegedly. So she makes really good money. Keith actually makes more than she does.
Wow.
So he makes more than she does. So they could have more than paid that $300 bill, but they chose not to. So now we're going to go visit the scriptures, because the word says that in Exodus 20:15, thou shalt not steal.
That's right.
5:19, thou shalt not steal. It also says that in Exodus 22 verse 1, if someone steals an ox or sheep and then unalives it or sells it, the thief must pay back 5 oxen for each ox stolen.
There you go. More than what you stole.
But I know people will say, they're like, but Crystal, that's the Old Testament. So let's jump over to the New Testament. And let's just say these people want to use the thing that, we were hungry. We didn't have a choice. Listen, if you're a thief, Quit stealing. You instead use your hands for good hard work and then give generously to others in need. You're not supposed to be stealing. So at the end of the day, we need to make shaming great again. I do agree that they need to go ahead and charge these people. One scripture that y'all know I love so much: train up a child in the way that they should go, and when they're older, they will not depart. When I was younger, when I was a little girl, my dad and mom used to tell my sister and I the same thing. It became a song in our head. Leave it alone, don't touch it. And it was for us to understand, if it's not ours, we're not supposed to touch it. Don't put your hands on it. That is why I was able to work in a bank and do really well. There was never a concern that I was going to steal, because I learned that it is not mine. Don't touch it. Even when I've been in relationships and men are like, why aren't you asking about, my bank account? Because that's your money. That's not my money. I'm not concerned, because leave it alone. Don't touch it out the correct way. Clearly, those people are not training up their children, but this goes back to what we started with. We just went full circle right back to what we were talking about. People aren't training up their children correctly. And that is why you later on in life, if these children start stealing, the parents just gave them the perfect example. This is what we do. And it's sad because, everyone does things like this. It's not an ethnicity, but the fatigue of the melanated people that tend to do this, then good, hardworking people like us will go into a restaurant and people will be like, well, how you going to pay for this? And they're going to be grilling us, which I've had that before. People like, how you going to pay for this? I'm like, geez, can I get a glass of water first? But they're so used to that bad behavior. They're concerned if you can afford to pay for these things. And this is why I say I get very frustrated. Y'all always want to act like we're a monolith when we're not. But then y'all don't understand your behavior becomes a problem for all of us that tend to look like you, because then people are going to be questioning, well, can you, times I've gone to restaurants, people aren't even sure if I could afford it. Listen, if I'm in here, I definitely can afford it. Do not be looking at me like I can't afford it. And then they assume people like me, not only that you can't afford, but you're going to tip bad. And every time we've tipped, it is amazing. Listen, we go on cruises, everywhere we go, people are like, dang, they tip really well. Yes, because we understand service. We understand what the Bible says. But kinfolk ain't kinfolk. All y'all ignorance. Y'all know what I mean by ignorance. Y'all need to get it together.
Look how they're teaching their children how to dress up, go to dinner, or go to. Who walks to a restaurant with a white beater on? Oh my goodness.
Exactly.
Oh my word. I know you're on vacation and all, but
I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. What are your thoughts? Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on to all so you never miss an upload. Consider joining the ARP family or buy your brother a coffee. That link's in the description box below. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. And as always, keep God first. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you guys next time. Peace.
It is God who arms me with strength. Yeah, I'm battle ready. He trains my hands for battle. My heart stays steady. But thanks be to God, he gives us the victory. Through my Lord Jesus Christ, fear can't live in me. I was down to the dirt, red clay on my shoes, old pain in my shirt, oh so bruised. Then the Lord hit my chest, kicked air from my breath, put power in my step.